Today, I want to talk about a lot of things, but the main coming up is it's time to make a different choice. Different choice. And what I mean by that is uh, these patterns, these cycles that keep us stuck, that keep us, blah, 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 loopity loop, right? Um, there's that, but then there's like the unexpected part, or the part, like we're having an experience, right? Um, but then there's also others having experiences, right? As part of this whole you're the creator of, endless things to talk about there. But if we just I want to focus on the part where you're doing your own thing, right? And you're chugging along, and this outside influence inevitably comes in. This 2 cents from somebody that you did not ask for comes in, or someone unexpectedly comes back, contacts you out of the blue, or it just things that you're like, this again? Why? Why? If I'm, building my best life, I'm probably like the best I've ever been. Like I'm conscious, I'm present. Welcome to the Presence Project. If you're here, this is what we do in here. We're just taking accountability for our consciousness, and like, I am here, I am present for the good, for the bad, the ugly, the everything, to ultimately land on the fact that I am the creator of my own reality. Because if we're not present and conscious to what it is, like even the tiniest decisions in our life, um, if we're not present to it, I'm not saying be controlling about it. It's more like be present to it and take accountability. Like, oh, I can see how I attracted that, or I can see how inevitably, this came about, So what I'm uh, working through today is more about, I feel like we get it when we're controlling our own uh, space, our own, you know, mental game where, it's like, oh, I got to be focused on this, or I got to, like when it's about you, and you have the privilege and also the responsibility to take time out for yourself, to be present with you, to make sure that you know what the hell is going on in all areas of you, because it affects everything else, everyone else in your life. Once you got that down, uh then we start to get into a rhythm, right? And a sort of like flow of like, oh, filling my own cup. Like, this gives me energy. This drains my energy. This, I'm picking and choosing now more carefully than ever what I'm available for and what I'm not available for, right? Yeah. When it's about you being able to discern that for you, you start kind of getting in a little groove and like, okay, I'm getting this, right? But then comes the unfortunate, but very necessary part of this whole thing, and is that we are not alone, right? And so it's always it's always something when energies want to pop in, right? Because they will. Like, we can't just expect that we will just be in our own bubble and prancing through like that's not what the game is about, right? So you're inevitably going to encounter other people. And sometimes I think like when I'm ready to be out in these streets, like I will decide, and then these streets come to you. They just do. So um we don't have to be ready for these streets because they're coming, right? So what I'm suggesting in this is just the thought I had today. It's about, especially for repeat offenders. If you and I know if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Is people who you thought like you had processed out, or you thought like but there's still like some sort of energetic bond, some sort of something that you're working through energetically with them. It may not even be you know in your, like, they may not be living in your house anymore. They may not be friends with you anymore. They may not be in your circles, like not even in your vicinity anymore, but there's an energy of if not of them, of what transpired between you, or like thoughts at 3 a.m., like why do they go to this person, like I want to say we all have someone like that, but if you don't, like, good job. You know what I mean? Uh Good job, or they coming, right? So but it's just part of life, part of everything. Like some people are sent to really just like stretch you and grow you and shape you in ways that you're like, I don't even want to be shaped like that. I didn't ask for all of that, but who you become, you're like, oh well, I do like this, so it's just we think we're not asking for some things, but then we sure as fuck are, because here they are, right? So this is just part of being present, will help us be more conscious of what we're choosing, even if it's for our growth, right? Even if it's like you don't know that this narcissist is gonna, whatever your situation is, it's just trust that it's for you and that you asked for it, like on because your soul is just so much more wise and more um present and conscious about what you need, right? But anyway, it still sucks to go through, right? It's just not cute. It's not comfortable. It's not pleasant when you think you're in a vibe of like progress, or like people, you hear a lot about feel good, feel good, feel good, and you're like, okay, I think I'm finally feeling kind of good about whatever, about my whatever. And then inevitably there's just always and like I've talked about previously in other videos, it's the level up. If you're leveling up, especially reaching goals like that you dreamed of, or like, it inevitably comes with some past stuff like ready to pop off, right? So my idea, my suggestion, my thoughts is make a different choice this time. E- Even if it's just radically just to fuck shit up, right? But not really. But just to be as clear with what I'm getting as possible. It's more about the energy that you choose to direct towards that thing. So it's only you can't control their reaction. You can't control what they're doing. You can't control it. So why would you react the same way? And we do it so much. Because why? Because they're wrong. We're right. Like, just stop. Like, this is fucked up. I'm standing up for myself. Like, there's many, many reasons why you are totally justified in reacting the way you have in the past, right? To the audacity, the what the fuckness of whatever these energies, these people are bringing in to your sanctity, to your space that you've like worked so hard to cultivate and feel safe in, right? um so in your safety cocoon, just feel this, like it feels like an attack. And so if you react like it, or anything like you've truly felt that was authentic and genuine for you in that moment, give yourself grace for it. Because I know there was also because of the backlash or however they reacted, and how much did you pop off, right? Like what? Because in the moment it's like, I'm feeling this, I'm done, I'm just gonna, right, short circuit, blackout, like. And then you're dealing with you being someone that that you didn't choose, right? In the moment you could have chosen a different way, but you didn't feel like it was a choice in that moment, right? And then inevitably those people use that reaction against you, right? It just spirals and it becomes something else, right? So the different choice is a game that you can play with yourself, where it's like, oh no, regardless of what you're coming at me with, what you're asking, what you want, what, like, all of that is irrelevant. Is how I am approaching it for myself, that truly is going to make a difference energetically for me, and for the general good, right? So it doesn't mean that like you're not going to feel an immediate surge of right? But if you can just take the time, take the few minutes that you need when you get that text or that call, like don't answer right away. Don't do the unconscious thing, like, right? Just give yourself a couple minutes to really sit in your feelings of whatever it is, but you're not reacting. You are like in your own time, in your own energy, in your own space. And then you're remembering that you're not the same person anymore. That you work through things differently, you flow differently. And so that contact, that unsolicited contact, that unsolicited attack or energy or whatever, weird comment on your social media, whatever you feel like, well, that is not aligned, just take it as not a test, but as this is an opportunity for me to really make a different choice, right? Whether it's like, oh, I'm going to make an uncomfortable choice here. I'm going to make a choice that's like, what would future me even, like, would this even matter to them? Meaning your future self, what you gonna be doing? Like, would this petty shit even be I got big, I would say I got bigger problems, but I got bigger problems. I got bigger and better things that like I'm about now. That future you is about. And guess what? That is you right now. You literally have bigger things. So what about not reacting at all? Not even like silence is like speaks, you know? Or but it applies to many things. Like people is a big one, right? Um, so somewhere where you would have been like, ah, what if you just said nothing? Doesn't matter what they think because they're wrong, right? They don't know you. They don't know you. Doesn't matter what you say. They're always going to have their idea. They had an agenda to begin with, reaching out to you, right? So what if I'm truly like, I'm going to choose to not give my energy to that, right? If the opportunity, of course, it lends itself to that. If it's more severe, if it, like, if you need like, you know what you're in, but it's still a matter of like, can I make a different choice than I made before? Can this be more aligned with who I know I am right now? Who I choose to be, who I see in my mind that like I am inevitably becoming? Is it aligned with that? Like taking a couple seconds to be like, is it aligned with that? It's gonna diffuse some of the feelings, some of the immediate reactions you have to fuckery, right? And another thing, like if it's not a relationship, like it can be anything, like just outside circumstances coming to play in your world at a time when you're like, ooh, I was not ready for that unexpected bill, right? I was not ready for, that thing to not work out the way that I wanted. So, how did I react in the past? Because I've had plenty of examples. So, you can use your past and you can use your future. But in the present, it's always where the power is. But the influence of like, we let ourselves influence the present by our past all the time, and the future is inevitably influenced by what the fuck you're doing right now and your past. Like sometimes we're influencing the future with our past, and like that is just like, why are you doing that? So if the now is an opportunity to really look at future and past and say, what am I taking from you and what am I taking from you? And here now is where I have the power to make whatever happen, right? But you can take from both. Take from the past, like, oh, how did I react to that before? And how did it go? Oh, it didn't go the way I wanted because of somebody's reaction, But it was also like, what was my energy in there? So I'm not going to give that same energy. Doesn't matter how they react. My energy is key. So if I am not giving the same energy, something different has to go down, right? So giving it to them or whatever differently, it strategically, like focused in, hey, future me has some input here. And what it's trying to tell me is that old shit it's not for me. And you may find that someone popping out of your past or some old, like, oh, now we're gonna have a new bill about that. Like you can just react to it differently. Like, oh, okay, before I would have been like freaked out, worried, or angry or anything. Now I can be like, oh, same shit, right? Got through that, right? Didn't like how I felt going through it. So this time I'm going to be so mindful about how I feel about it and what I'm putting out there. And it doesn't matter what they look. But what I do want to tell you is, just from personal experience, is like the minute you decide and you make that choice, like I'm gonna react differently to this, for me, for future me, and for what I know I'm about. Like, I'm not doing that same old shit. When you decide to do that, it just literally shifts whatever the fuck they had going on, that they thought, like, you didn't react the way they thought you were gonna. So it throws off any kind of game, any kind of thing that could have come after, and like, all plans are thwarted, right? So just for the pleasure of like, oh, it didn't go the way you planned. Okay. Yeah, because I'm creating this. And that's how you take control of your own experience when you got interjecting energies. It's just thoughts of like, if we're playing this game, we're playing this game my way, because I'm the creator. So just think of any way you can play the game your way when you've done all this work that people ain't doing out here. They're just like out there. Let them do that, but don't come at me with that. Nah, you keep that shit over there. I'm gonna do me over here, and just you paying attention to your energy, and your focus is on you and what you got going on. All they wanted was your focus, and they're not getting it. So with that, I've talked forever. Just some thoughts for you. I hope it's helpful. Um, but at the end of the day, it's all good, because we're aware. Finally, we're awake to the bullshit or the good. It's the presence to it is what's most beautiful. So all my love to you, and until next time.